and L's, a weekly recap show where we give a dub to the things that we like and an L to the things that we don't. I started, did you?
You started, bro.
I feel like I didn't, but okay, I'll go.
You started, bro.
All right, got a couple dubs this week. My first dub goes to a little tidbit of information that I received from the Twitter. It looks as if they are actually going to start a Creed comic book series. A Creed sequel.
Under what? Who's writing it?
Let's see here. A Creed sequel comic will release on June 28th from writers Latoya Morgan and Jay Jameson, artist Wilton Santos, and creative director Michael B. Jordan. The comic is set 10 years after Creed 3 as Amara Creed sets off on her own boxing path.
This is dope. This is actually kind of hard. So they're going to continue this series in a comic form and then probably bring us back into present day in the film. That's smart marketing. I like the route that he's going with it and the type of crowd that he's trying to attract doing it. Right? Because this is not something that you pitch to general audience fans.
Sure.
This is something that you are specifically going towards sci-fi genre. Like you're going after the core of Rocky fandom in a very real way.
Yeah.
In a substantive way too. If the comic is halfway decent, it's really going to play well with comic book fans. I like this idea. I do. I like this idea a lot. And it's kind of following the pathway of a lot of celebrity actors right now. Berserker with Keanu Reeves. Hold on, I got the Wesley Snipes book here somewhere around me. Exile, there we go. Yes, it's there. There's a lot of guys doing that, making their own comic books around characters that may end up on the big screen, or in Michael B. Jordan's case, are already on the big screen with Adonis Creed. So my only worry is that this is a rich boxer with with a prospective boxing deaf daughter. How much action can we really get out of this book? Like, I don't suspect they're gonna be going through too many troubles or hardships, or maybe that's something that gets woven into the comic book series. We don't know. I guess I'm worried about them keeping it interesting for any sustainable amount of time. But right now, what I'm hearing about it early, I like it. I like the idea.
No, it definitely seems like a dope concept, and it's something that's not what we're actually seeing right now in the movie. So it's. We'll see what works. All right, my next dub goes to defensive coordinator Jim Knowles for the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Yuck.
It seems like he's been listening to some of us Buckeye fans. Seems like he watched over the spring game, saw some things that he liked out of 5-star recruit linebacker, or well, I guess at this point he's a sophomore, sophomore, CJ Hicks. And so it looks like he's going to get some playing time. And I am very happy about that because I think he's at least better than he's not better than Eichenberg, but he's definitely.
I'm about to say 2 thumbs?
Yeah, I don't think he's better than Eichenberg. But
Not me 2 thumbs?
Nah, but he's up there. He's definitely more athletic than, what we got at linebacker. So I'm definitely excited to see what he can, toss in there to maybe bring a rotation to the linebacker core, or, we'll see. But he also has said some talk about Sonny Styles and getting him in there as well. So, I don't know, man. Young guys might be coming out to play, which fares not so well for Michigan. So, eat it.
That doesn't have anything to do with us. Is Jim Knowles still coaching them?
Yeah.
Okay, no problems here. No issues. No issues here.
Okay. All right. Famous last words. Famous last words.
Were they on the team last year?
Yeah, but they didn't play, I don't think.
I'm saying they had every reason to throw them out there and see what they could do. So
he didn't. That's my point.
It's not scary to us. Y'all have to prove it. And we not worried about that shit. Y'all the ones got shit to fix. So if the young guys is what y'all got to do to sure things up, okay, well then get it done. We'll see you in November.
Bet.
Definitely not shaking in my boots about it now.
All right, and that's fine. You don't have to now, but you will remember those names. That's the only point.
Okay, I hope I do.
Me too. And if you don't now, you'll remember them after that day.
I mean, we got to run past somebody on defense, so
it won't be CJ Hicks.
If it's Styles, it's Eichenberg, Steele, shit. Put
It
Griffin out there.
it won't be CJ
Fickle,
Hicks.
Brable.
It won't be
Who,
Mike
who
Hall
do you want to
Jr.
be out there?
It
Who do you
won't
want
be
out
Sonny
there?
Styles. It won't be JT.
Campbell. We can go get Jenkins. We can put
It
Jenkins
won't
out there
be
if you want
it won't
to.
be Denzel Burke. It won't be Igbinosun.
Okay. If you say so, I hope.
I
I'm
do.
so glad that you're confident.
I'm very confident.
Okay.
Like always. Anyway, giving out some L's. So this weekend, decided to go on vacation with the fam for a couple days at least in Virginia Beach, thinking that, oh, Virginia Beach should be a little bit nicer than what we got here in Ohio. Wrong. Absolutely
Wrong as
wrong.
hell. The weather here was beautiful all weekend.
I've heard. Perfect grilling weather for Memorial Day.
Perfect.
Everything. Meanwhile, I
It
got
was like 75. I felt like the mean temperature was about 75.
that's crazy because I had to deal
Perfect.
with low 60s, extremely windy, and rainy at points. So, yeah, that was my 2.5 days in Virginia Beach. Got to do better. Much, much better. Giving my next L to Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen has done this back and forth about who's the greatest, including Michael Jordan, LeBron James, and others. And I think
Lord
it's
have
time that we
mercy.
sit him down and tell him to shut the fuck up indefinitely because he's not making any sense when he talks.
The only thing more embarrassing than Scottie Pippen doing this, flip flopping constantly about who's the best player, is the people who try to jump onto it, the LeBron fans, every time he switches back to LeBron. It's like you cuss this man out every time he says Jordan, and then you tell him, no, nigga, you used to say it was LeBron. Don't switch up now. And then when he says it's LeBron, you take his word as God and you try to defend him. You people are sycophants. You're
No,
sycophants.
that's absolutely a fact. But I mean,
It's fucking crazy. Y'all, LeBron fans is out here defending Scottie Pippen tooth and nail because he's back on the LeBron side. Because you know he was once there before, then he switched up and went to Jordan, and then Jordan's son is smacking his wife. So now I have to find some other erroneous reason to make LeBron better than Jordan.
I mean, that is a fact. That is absolutely a fact. I just seem to remember Scottie Pippen when Michael Jordan retired and started playing baseball. He pointed at the Jordan logo on the bottom of his shoe and said, "Come back." He wasn't that horrible to play with.
After he had the same exact team, minus Jordan. Remember what Scottie Pippen is saying? He wasn't a good teammate. He wasn't good to play with. Blah 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 blah. When y'all had that exact same team minus Michael Jordan, where'd y'all go?
Nowhere.
Where were you watching the finals that year, Scotty? And then, as Josh said, who did you beg to come back? Fam, I have a memory. I see you are struggling with yours. That doesn't mean everyone else around you struggles with theirs. We have video. We got the internet. You've been on this shit for about a decade, boy.
Yeah. Yep.
I think Michael Jordan is the best basketball player ever to pick up a basketball. LeBron James is going to have the best stats ever, so how can you say that's not the best player? Well, obviously, Michael has the 6 championships, and that just kind of defines it for me. I think Michael is the best. Well, you know, LeBron's not fucking my ex-wife, so I think I'm going to go with him.
I don't like how your Scottie Pippen is Kendrick Perkins.
It's basically that.
Yeah, no, every time he comes out with his Chester Cheetah outfit, you know it's a wrap. You know he's about to say something ridiculous.
I want somebody to tell him, Scotty, you almost 60, bro. Take them fucking braids out your head, bro. Cut it out. She not coming back.
No,
she's not coming back.
She's not.
Find you a nice, wholesome woman that won't go fuck NBA rookies, rappers, and former NBA Hall of Famers' sons.
It's that simple, bro. It's that simple.
She Larsa Jordan now.
Shit. All right, one more L, one more toss up. So, we talked about rainbow washing quite some time ago. I think it was this time last year. And we discussed basically all these corporations who basically align themselves with the LGBT community as an effort to trump up sales, for lack of a better way to put it. Target seems to be the latest culprit in this. They have rolled out baby clothes that align with LGBT causes and have included phrases such as "it's not a phase" and other trans supportive phrases, which a little too much for a baby. Come on, fam.
It confuses me all around. Is this for the baby of a trans parent? Like, is that the logic behind it? Because again, and I'm not an expert. I obviously am not that, and have very little actual practical world experience with it. But to my understanding, the idea of a trans individual is that it's kind of rejecting the idea that we automatically submit our children to these heteronormative structures from birth, and that most of the time your gender is chosen for you as opposed to you maturing into one that suits you, right? Tell me how dressing your child up in clothes that has political opinions that suit you, not them, right? They don't even understand sexuality, let alone gender or sexual preference, right?
Or
Two different
political
things, but they
ideologies.
can't understand either one of them. The concept of them is completely foreign. The concept of sex is completely foreign to them. The concept of gender, foreign. And to your liking should remain foreign until they choose. How is you dressing your kid up in I am gay clothes or this is not a phase clothes? You allowing them to choose, allowing them to mature into what is normal for them. Because it just sounds like the same thing you complain about, but for your side. Make
Same.
that make sense to me. Why should a child who can not even read at this point be wearing a shirt that says it is not a phase? What's not a phase? What are you assigning to this child? Is it any less reprehensible for a parent or someone who has stewardship over a child to assign them gay than it is for them to be assigned straight? Is it any better for you to usher them towards that lifestyle than it is for us to be, as a society, pushing our boys and girls into the structures that we see fit for them? What's the difference? It's only now you are ascribing your personal beliefs and background and imposing it upon your child. Maybe I'm missing something, but I don't get it.
No, it's just absolutely nuts that people are willing to treat their children like fucking bumper stickers.
Like bumper stickers, literally. Like, I'm going to put my political beliefs on my child's forehead at that point, is what you're doing.
Absolutely.
Because there's no way you can prove to me that that's what they chose, that's what they want, and that's what they want to be happening. Can't even communicate it to you. And I mean, this type of mentality kind of stretches into a bunch of other conversations that I would really not like to have today. But for the sake of this shit with the clothing, it just doesn't. Again, if this is like preteen clothing, if it's teenage, young adult clothing, by then they've kind of figured it out and they know what they like. And if you're supportive of that and they want to wear clothes that supports that, then it is what it is. But you're talking about toddlers. The concept of gender, sex, sexuality, sexual preference, it's so far away from their capacity to be able to process that it would fully be you. It's nothing but you at that point. There's no level of choice that can actually be put, that could actually be given at that point, because they don't have the brain capacity to process what it is that they're wearing, what it says, what it means, what they're in support of by wearing it. If that's you,
Yeah.
it doesn't make it any more right for you to be doing it in one direction than somebody else to be doing it in another.
I agree. Kids don't even know their ABCs, but support the LGBT.
It's like that doesn't even make sense.
A little wild. But moving on. Toss up. we should probably stop a lot of these remakes that are happening. But one remake that I'm absolutely looking forward to is this Good Burger remake.
Welcome to the Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. Can I take your order?
1000% looking forward to this Good Burger remake. But it
I
seems
want to see
like,
it. Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, at least for the nostalgia factor of it. Like,
Yeah. Oh
and
yeah.
I've seen Keenan obviously on SNL. I've seen Kel on the rise again comedically. He's been on
Wilding out and all that.
Wild Out, Black Lady Sketch Show, a couple other places I think. So I'm ready to see it. But it seems like some people are not liking, at the very least, Kel's makeup to make him look younger on the set of Good Burger, which is
No, he does. He does look like a auntie. He looked like he about to go tap a box of ports outside and get busy.
yeah,
But
no, he does look like Cicely Tyson a little bit too.
my thing about it is it didn't look like Keenan was too excited to be on set or on camera at the moment. I never understood what his beef with Gail was, man. Like, damn, bro, who hates Gail?
You know, I think that's one of the things that's going to be behind the scenes for quite some time, and we'll never know until
We'll never really know what happened. Yeah,
unless one of them decides to spill the beans on it for clout at some later date.
Well,
At
they
that
got to be
point,
doing a lot worse off than what they're doing right now to start spilling those beans. So
I feel
let's
like
hope we
y'all are
never
making good money together.
yeah, they
Even.
both making good money.
So
And they working together, so it ain't no reason for them to fuck it up. So I don't think we'll hear exactly what it is, like you said, until somebody needs some cash.
but yeah, it just seems like a lot of people are hating on Good Burger, and like I said, I for one, I'm still here for it. Makeup and all.
Well, they got PTSD. They got House Party and goddamn Space Jam 2. And then now White Man Can't Jump with Jack Harlow, which, God Jesus. Lord have mercy.
I seem to notice that 2 out of 3 of those include LeBron James, but I'm just gonna leave.
I'm just saying we're shell shocked right now in terms of the remakes. We want to see good remakes.
Yeah, definitely don't want the White Men Can't Jump remake, but I'm not gonna watch it anyway, so I don't care.
Bro, get on Hulu and watch it, bro.
I'm cool. I'm absolutely cool. I'm good. No, thank you. That's all I got. It is on you.
All right, here we go. Let's start off with our dubs here. So we had some not so great Spider-Man news last week when we were talking about the death of one Kamala Khan that has been confirmed and marketed in the solicits here coming up in June. But it seems like we've gotten some additional leakage from an up-and-coming issue of The Amazing Spider-Man that seems like they've maybe thought twice about the direction they were taking this book and thought maybe I won't get murdered by a comic book fan and I'll switch it up just a bit. So remember those Paul and those pesky kids that we were talking about, MJ's secret family that she got in the post-apocalyptic world when she got magic powers and now she could never leave them for some stupid reason, even though she doesn't really like Paul? Well, it's seeming like they leaked some panels from an up-and-coming issue where the kids die. They're basically getting flashed away and Paul has some kind of psychotic break, which is sure to send him into murderous rage. Well, MJ will probably have to kill him or Spider-Man will have to kill him. I don't know, man. This shit sucks. Honestly, that book is fucking trash. I don't know what's going on.
That's a little left, but okay. At least it returns to normal.
It really just feels like they're just doing whatever, which is kind of why I never had confidence in the Kamala Khan thing meaning good things for her. Because they're just doing shit. They're just doing shit for shock value now. Oh yeah, we gave MJ kids and a husband, but oh no, the kids are gone. You know what I mean? Like it's just not. It's not doing it for me.
That is wild.
Not at all. But maybe there's hope there, Spider-Man fans, for all of this madness not to stick. Maybe there's hope. Let's see here. Oh, I'm gonna give my second dub out to the Michigan football program.
Gross.
For a reason I didn't even realize it was even gonna happen this year until it was mentioned on Isaiah Hole on Wolverine's Lockdown podcast. Shout out to him. He mentioned it.
Hate him.
Michigan, the winningest football program in college football history, is most likely going to get their 1,000th win this season. It's if all things hold serve, it should happen against Penn State this year. should be our 1,000th win in program history. Nobody else is smelling it. Nobody else is close enough to it. Right? We will be the only program in college football in the Power 5 or otherwise with 1,000 wins overall in program history. Hot damn, that's some history, boy.
Yeah.
In a time where everybody is so anti-history, apparently, like that's become something to joke about Michigan
It
about.
is. It's hilarious.
You've been winning football games since World War II. Okay. Let me ask you, fucking Middle Tennessee State. Your university's been around since 2006. How many fucking wins y'all got? Huh? How many conference championships y'all got? Since when was it a bad thing to have a long history of success? You mean we've been winning games since your great grandfather was scratching his ass, and all of a sudden that's a bad thing? Okay. Yeah, color me stupid because I'm not signing up for that, right? I'm signing up for the program with 1,000 wins. So shout out to the good guys, the leaders, the victors, valiants, and the champions of the West.
That would be so much more of an accomplishment if you guys didn't do it against the high school down the way for 20 years at least.
Fam. Do you think your university doesn't count those wins when you were also playing them? When you were playing the University of Chicago in the original Big 8? You don't think Ohio State counts those wins?
At least they were a university.
We came up in the same conference, fam. We started playing football like a decade before y'all did.
I was going to say there's definitely some time before, but
not that much, like maybe like 10 years or so, but not enough to say that we should be still at this point. Like if Michigan was as bad as y'all say we were, like if we were irrelevant for as long as y'all say we were irrelevant, somebody would have caught us. Being around doesn't mean you win. Being present doesn't mean you win games. There are universities older than the University of Michigan with football programs that ain't got 1,000 wins, fam. It's not as easy as, just have one and they get last.
Hey, fam, I'm always here to joke about Michigan football. So
nothing to joke about 1,000 wins, baby. And we're going to do it against the Nittany Lions on our way to whooping the Buckeyes' ass for the third time.
It's not going to happen.
In a row.
And to be fair, it was 11 years. We started playing in 1890. You guys started playing in 1879. So get it right.
We both started playing football before the century me and you were born in. At that point, fam, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, let's talk about current news. How you guys still haven't won a bowl game in
Hey, Josh. What the fuck does that have to do with us?
Nothing so far.
You arguing about something else? Oh,
I know you for sure. I am. No, I am.
But you can't beat Tiny. You can't beat up Debo.
I am arguing about something completely separate. You're absolutely right. But they just jokes.
I mean, by my count, Ohio State ain't won no playoff game in quite some time either.
We've definitely won a couple. So
there's. What about your coach's record in the playoff? I got one win against Clemson and a drumming in the national championship.
Sure.
Then we got one loss to Georgia. So that sounds like 1-3. I think you need to worry about your own guy. He can't even beat Harbaugh, and he can't even beat Harbaugh.
That's a better record than Harbaugh's bowl record.
Bam! I'm not talking bowls. Let's talk about what you actually want to win. Fuck a bowl if we don't make the playoffs. I don't care.
Okay, so then playoffs. That's a better playoff record.
You're 1-3.
But you're 0-2.
You're 1-3.
0-2.
You're 1-3.
I just said it was better.
I'd rather be 0-2 and be one of the two teams favored to be in the national championship. Well, actually, that's not even Michigan. But I'd rather be 0-2 and with football guys being, one of the two teams that they could feasibly see in the national or three teams that you can see in the national championship, as opposed to 1-3 in the playoff and with no real prospect of beating your rival. We're better this year than we've been the last 2 years. You are worse this year than you've been the last 2 years.
That's yet to be seen. We were
No, it's
returning
not yet
most
to
of
be
our
seen.
players. We
No,
just
no,
don't know
it's
about
not.
our
It's not yet
quarterback.
to be seen. You were returning a Heisman winner last year.
Yeah.
Then the year before that, you had 3 NFL caliber first round wide receivers. You're decidedly worse this year than you've been in the last 2 years of Ryan Day. We're decidedly better. We got Blake. We
Our
got Donovan.
defense has
We got
arguably gotten
we
better in
got
the
we got
last year or two.
JJ. What's up?
Our defense has arguably gotten better last year, and they're supposedly getting better this year.
I'm just saying overall as a team, you still have to be you have to prove that you're better this year than you were last year.
No, you're absolutely
Haven't
right.
shown us
You do.
that.
You
You got to
do.
prove it first.
But you also have to win a bowl game or playoff game. Sorry,
What enough
playoff
do
game.
that got to do with us?
I said you have to win a playoff
What
game.
does that got to do with us? What does our bowl game have to do with y'all? Like,
it has nothing to do. But if we've got something to prove by beating y'all have something to prove by actually winning a playoff game.
Okay, but that's outside of our conversation.
Right.
Like, stop talking about our greater aspirations after stomping a mud hole in y'all's ass. Like, that is where our argument ends. In that fateful day in November.
Yes.
In Ann Arbor.
Sunny day in Ann Arbor. Yes.
It's probably not going to be sunny,
that
but hey,
clear,
we can get it done in any weather.
Sunny day, strangely 70-degree day in Ann Arbor. Yes.
Okay, fine. That'll make your homeboy very happy, Mr. Stroud.
I mean, he won't be playing, but I'm sure he will be happy.
No, you must not have heard what he said.
No, I heard. He said he still doesn't like cold weather.
CJ, if you could change anything about the NFL, what would you change? I wish it wasn't so cold. It makes me shake when we play football. I'm so scared when it gets cold outside. I wish every NFL team had a dome.
He's a Cali boy.
He's a pussy.
No. Anyway.
Wish every NFL stadium had a dome? I know the Texans was like, oh.
He will still be Rookie of the Year.
Okay.
Count it.
Okay.
Count it.
I'm going to let you have that one.
You're
right, Josh. CJ Stroud's going to be Rookie of the Year.
Yes.
You're right.
He will.
Okay. You got it, man.
It won't be Mozzie Smith.
CJ Stroud will be lucky to be in the league in 5 years.
Oh, okay. Move on.
Fam is already complaining about the weather before he's played a game. He'll be lucky to be in the league in 5 years. Anyways, we are moving on. See, the guy's going to get my first L. If you are a regular on Back of the Bus Twitter, which all of you should be, you saw last week I was cruising and perusing, listening to the Breakfast Club in the morning, and they got on the topic of The Color Purple. Color Purple had a teaser trailer last week, came out, with some very interesting things going on there. Interesting cast. Coleman Domingo, Haley Bailey, Fantasia Barrino is going to play the older version of Miss Seeley. Old girl from Orange is the New Black was in there. Orange is the New Black and Peacemaker, she was in there. Taraji P. Henson. There's a lot of star power in this cast. It's also interesting because like who they have in certain positions. For me, this is aside from the L that I'm giving to See the Guy, by the way. I'm kind of breaking down the Black Color Purple trailer right now. But in the roles that they have, Haley Bailey's her sister. That's a very prominent role within that movie. Or maybe it's not going to be as much, as it was before. Fantasia Barrino as the older Miss Seeley. I love Fantasia. Obviously, she can sing. This is a reimagined version of the play version of Color Purple, right? The only thing I've seen Fantasia be a lead actor in is her own life story on Lifetime. Okay, so like, I'm happy for her. Obviously, that she's getting the opportunity. That's something that I'm paying attention to. Same thing with Haley Bailey. This is her second, prominent role in a movie like this. So, youngish actors in leading roles in the production is a concern. Also, directed by Steven Spielberg, which is interesting.
Seems legit.
It seemed legit because the trailer looks beautiful, right? And obviously we know what kind of work that Steven Spielberg does. a now famous interview about with Denzel Washington when they were asking him about black directors doing black movies, and it was like, well, you wouldn't ask, you wouldn't have me do Schindler's List, you wouldn't have me do a story about Hiroshima, you wouldn't have me, you know, have a black man tell a story about a tragedy in someone else's culture, someone else's background, someone else's history. The Color Purple was that type of cultural event for black people, positively and negatively. I don't think everybody was necessarily given a fair shake in that movie, but we'll leave it where it's at. I just wonder about Steven Spielberg being the man to handle that type of complexity in a modern version, in a quote unquote reimagining. Because now I think naturally people would worry about an outsider's influence on a story like Schindler's List.
Yeah.
I think similarly, the subject matter is sensitive enough that you should worry about the cultural background of the person leading it. Not that Steven Spielberg can't get the job done. The trailer looked amazing, looked beautiful. It was enticing enough to see. I just worry about how they're going to adjust the subject matter because it was already a little bit off as it was. Like Mister was a mean, irredeemable character that really didn't have a good quality other than he was halfway decent with women. He kept women around.
Yeah.
Right, but it wasn't in the purview of the writers at the time to show any background for him, to show why he was like that, to give him any type of other meaning for the character or drive or motivation, or wants or needs or desires. It was just pretty much greed and gluttony. And violence and that painted black men in a very specific light. So I'm very interested in seeing how now they do it with, I think Coleman Domingo is going to be playing that character instead of Danny Glover. With all that being said, right, there's enough there to discuss, obviously. That was kind of my point of doing that. You know what Charlamagne said?
Charlamagne?
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to do that subject matter nowadays. I ain't trying to see a woke Color Purple. I'm sorry, what, Charla? How old are you? 40 something, 42, 43, something like that. Okay, so old enough to have heard the word woke used in its proper context culturally within the black community. Not its literal interpretation, not this new co-opted bullshit that they running with nowadays, but what the word actually meant to us. And now you out here spewing the dog whistle on your own airwaves. What does that mean to you, Charla? I guarantee you it's going to mean something different from Ann Coulter and Ben Shapiro. Guarantee it's going to be different from what Tyrone Magnus and anybody else and Nerdotic, right? Which is different from anybody going on to CNN or MSNBC screaming woke, which is a little bit different from anybody going on Fox News. It has become a banner, a lambasted moniker that we use for anything that we don't like. So I'm assuming that maybe Charlamagne means modern. Maybe he means like watered down when he means woke. But the fact that the word has become so interchangeable that we can have all of these sliding scale of meanings lets you know what type of energy is around that word now. And the fact that he was so ready to use it it upset. It did surprise me, but it upset me.
So you mean to tell me that the man who platformed Tamika Mallory and Angela Rye and constantly brands himself to champion black women doesn't know what the accurate definition of woke is?
Of stay woke. And so now you using it just like all the races. Okay. All right.
Just saying.
Alrighty. I mean, people will tell you what side they on. You just gotta ask them.
Facts.
Let's see here. Oh, the NBA sports media is getting an L for me. Do you remember mid-season when we were having some what's the future plans talk for LeBron? Because obviously we couldn't talk about anything else about the Lakers because we sucked at the moment.
Yeah.
You remember what LeBron's prognosis of his future was?
He wanted to play with the son.
Oh, he wanted to play with his son. Interesting. His son just committed to USC, right? A lot of players nowadays, the good ones at least, we won and done. We to the league. As of 30 seconds after the damn finals ended and the Lakers got swept, your man's up there talking about he can contemplating retirement. Oh, okay. All right. Well, if you retire, you can't play with your son, can you? Now, we was all too happy to run that story a couple months ago when LeBron said he wanted to play with us. Oh man, what are they gonna do? Would you trade for LeBron? Would you trade up to get Bronny so that you could keep LeBron? One Nicholas Wright was trying to convince us that LeBron James Jr. was a must pick in the NBA draft so that you can get LeBron. Now he talking about retirement. Do you think Nick is holding his feet to the fire now? Do you think Nick is talking about how different of a dynamic now that it is that he's no longer thinking about playing with Bronny and now he's contemplating retirement? Do you think anybody's even calling him to the table for pushing his son into the forefront, knowing full on well the entire time that his son is a middle of the road recruit at best? Not top 5, not top 15, not top 20, not top 25. I think he was like 34 on Rivals. So he's a middle of the road rotational college player, a guy who most likely is going to need multiple years of college to be NBA ready. And he knew that already. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to boast my son up as some fringe lottery pick, attracting some team to maybe draft him in the hopes of getting me. Putting the focus and the spotlight on him just in time for your ass to retire. So now what we're left with is the potential of LeBron retiring. Nobody questioning on how the timetable changed. It's very convenient how now you want to retire after you get swept. But not only that, now we're expecting your son to be a lottery pick because Nick Wright last year was talking about how teams should draft him to keep you. So of course he's a lottery pick, right? At least that's what the narrative is. And the minute he doesn't play like that, what do you think they're going to do to him, Josh?
Dump him in the G League. Send him to Shanghai.
They're going to eviscerate that man. Y'all thought it was bad for the Ball brothers? You thought it was bad for the balls of Chino Hills? Oh, no. This is LeBron James's son. If he does not play up to task, the entire world is going to want a piece of Bronny James. And I only have one person to blame for that. Because he could have just went about his shit like a normal college player, committed, went to school, and let his journey play out the way it's supposed to be. Instead, his dad put him in the spotlight of having to be one of the 10 to 15 best players in college basketball next year so that I can have the hopes of getting drafted high so that I can meet the expectation of being able to play with my dad while he's still in the NBA. Because he wouldn't stop talking about it. Until he got swept, and now it's time for me to hang him up because I can't do it at the same level anymore. What are we doing? What are we doing?
I'm waiting for Bryce Maximus. That's what I'm doing.
But that I already told y'all I was ahead of that, so
just
thank you very much. Thank you very much. All right. Lil Wayne is getting my next tale. So, not only did Wayne recently shut down a concert where one of his former acts, wasn't getting the crowd reaction that he thought that they should be getting, right? That he seemed deemed satisfactory. But now apparently this man he's going through his final metamorphosis into Lauryn Hill. Because apparently the man's is showing up hours late to a show to give you 15 minutes of a performance and telling you to fuck off so he can go back to doing his drugs. I'm sorry, but you're not nowhere near that popular nowadays to get that shit off, fam.
That's a fact. That is a fact. You know what I find hilarious is that you didn't mention what Young Money artist it was, but it fits for so many of them. Gutta Gutta, J Mills, Lil Chucky,
here's the thing.
Lil Twist.
Maybe you take some of them bedrock artists and you actually help them get them albums off the ground. Maybe. And then for the ones that did get some albums out, maybe you help them a little bit more so them shits would go.
You're not looking for the new Gutta Gutta mixtape, bro?
Because I can't tell you last time I seen Gutta Gutta, Jay Mills, Lil Chucky,
Mac Man,
Mac Main,
little yeah, little twist for a second.
Lil Twist. I can't tell you the last time I seen any of them niggas. Okay, don't be mad at me that you brought Lil Twist out there and didn't nobody know who he was. Fam, it's 2023. Bedrock came out in 2007. Okay, or 2008.
Somewhere around there.
No child is going to remember Little Twist from 2008. They were probably 2 years old now. Ain't nobody met, and even the people that remember Little Twist, you ain't giving us nothing for us to get hyped about. Little, hey, it was the one little nigga with the high top that was running around Wayne. That's cool. Wayne, are you gonna rap? Like, I'm not checking for him.
I'm looking at pictures of Lil Twist on Google right now. I would not recognize him one bit as Lil Twist.
Even if I did, why would I care? Y'all gonna do bedrock? You gonna bring out Nicki and Drake so y'all can do the whole bedrock? That's it, fam. Like, that's it. That's the claim to fame. And then not you expecting that type of reception for a forgotten act who has little to no catalog, but then you're gonna treat me like shit and give me 15 minutes of a show.
I am now looking to buy any tickets for Lil Wayne at this point. He's just literally, like you always say, musicians make their money from touring, and his price just went way down.
That's what it is, man.
For
That's
Lil
what it
fucking
is.
Twist.
I know I'm not beating down the door to get no Lil Wayne tickets no time soon.
Facts.
Governor DeSantis of Florida is getting an L from me. So, along with his, his rampage against CRT and trying to burn books out of schools and fighting with teachers and whatnot and fighting with Disney. One of the other things Mr. DeSantis add to his list of crusades in anticipation of his, I guess he already announced his presidential campaign. It's just none of you knew about it because his Twitter announcement crashed on Twitter with Elon Musk. Dog.
What a loser.
Now that's an L within itself. But we'll save that for the back half of this conversation. He's receiving an L from me because he is enacting a new bill in Florida that basically expels undocumented workers from their jobs in Florida. All right? You want to take a wild guess on who makes up a majority of the construction, landscaping, farming, and agriculture labor forces in Florida? Illegal immigrants, illegal aliens, whatever you want to call them, the undocumented workers working in those positions.
Yes.
Make up a big percentage of the construction work, the landscaping, and the biggest part, which would be the one that probably affects the economy the most, would be the agriculture sector, the farming. See, what DeSantis thought is that I'll get all these immigrants out of here. They'll get excited because it's an obvious dog whistle, right? But then on top of that, I'll be able to give a lot of unemployed Americans jobs. You know who nobody is fighting to do and that has an open position anytime you want to go walk down the street and get one? Construction, landscaping, and agriculture. Because ain't nobody fighting for jobs to go out here and pick apples and oranges. Ain't nobody fighting to dig holes and go walk around in sewers all day. It's hard work. It's unattractive work. It's unpopular work. It's the type of work that you can get in this country without an address or an ID. It's the type of shit that you can show up to every day and they will give you your check in cash at the end of the week. If you want to work that, you can. As an employed American, as an unemployed American. The problem is that since we go through an American educational system and most of us enter with at least a high school degree, we're entering in at a base level that the immigrant is not able to obtain. You can't do most of those things here without an ID, without an address, without a history of residency.
Yep.
There's the reason why those people work those jobs. It doesn't mean we need them any less. Right? Those jobs provide empirical value to our everyday lives and to our economy. DeSantis would have you believe that they're just a straight up siphon. And then there are certain places where they are dragging on the resources of America, but they're also contributing. They also pay taxes. They are also keeping vital parts of our economy rolling. So good luck with all your development projects down there in Florida. I know you're going to have a great time with traffic, getting around construction zones, and good luck with those grocery store prices. Fucking luck. If you wanted this, pay the piper. Enjoy traffic and higher grocery store prices. I hope you're happy.
Especially considering they have higher premiums on those things in Florida already as is.
Anyway,
So
because there's no sales tax or no income tax. Sorry. Okay. Last L. And this is almost a little bit of an atonement because I think we actually defended this person when the news initially hit.
no, I mean I didn't.
But
I didn't at all.
Miss Patrice Carruthers is getting an L from me. The founder of BLM, the one who was being called to task because she bought an expensive home.
Yep, no, never defended her whatsoever.
No, we did.
Never.
And I'm man enough to sit up here and say that we did
Find
because
the
I
video.
still say the conclusion that they came to was very short-sighted and it lacked a lot of evidence until she purchased another $1 million home. And you know what? Even in that case, if it came from just her legal compensation that she's due, I don't think anybody fighting for the common person should have that high a salary. You know? That's just me, and that's just my opinion. But the reason why she is receiving an L on top of us atoning for what seems to be us being wrong about an individual, it seems that she had a deal with Warner Brothers to create content, fam, the whole time. That was recently canceled because she didn't produce shit.
Black Lives Matter content specifically.
It was supposed to be content centering black stories, was the official word. And you know what she did in the 5 years that she had that content? Zilch. Nada. Nilch. She didn't produce a single fucking thing. So somebody got hired, got a contract with Warner Brothers, and probably made millions of dollars, probably contributed to her being able to purchase these expensive ass homes. Right? To create black stories. And you know what she did with it? She bought mansions. And created nothing for black folks. So now a BLM founder finds her way into Warner Brothers and gets a green light to create content, quote unquote, centered around black stories. And you know what you did with it? You bought fucking houses. Not a TV show, not a miniseries, not a docuseries, not a feature-length film. You know what we got out of that? We got Patrice fired, zero content, and now the chances of that position being filled under those guys ever again is 0 to none at Warner Brothers. The chances of somebody getting a budget and a go-ahead to create the blackest content they possibly can is next to none at Warner Brothers now. Because she went in there, got paid, and did nothing.
Absolutely nuts. And no, I dare anybody to go try to find that video. Now that you said that,
Did you take it down? You don't have to take it down.
Nope, now that
Hey,
you
look,
said
man,
that,
I
I'm taking
stand
it
by
down.
everything I say, bro. I stand by
Taking it
every
down,
word I
scrapping
say.
it.
I absolutely protected Patrice Carruthers because I felt like people were coming after her for having nice things.
Yeah,
Your favorite politician lives in a mansion.
facts.
Ask AOC where she stay at.
Penthouse, New York penthouse.
You know what I'm saying? Don't play with me. I know they all making money.
Yeah.
So it wasn't so much that she lived in a nice house that really turned me. It was the multiple. It was the fact that she never addressed the fact that people were accusing you of stealing funds from BLM. You never spoke public. You never even defended yourself.
Yeah.
And then now I'm finding out that you have content creating contracts with Warner Brothers. Yo, what the fuck?
That is absolutely
what?
wild. Unforgivable.
You're wearing multiple hats. You an activist at night, and then you're a director by day, or what? What are we doing here?
I think we did
What are
find
we
that
doing?
she did have multiple hats. She's like an author or something like that. She wrote books.
Okay.
She was a poet and some other shit.
But even at that, They gave you a green light to bring some meaningful black content to the forefront, and even in that you failed because you didn't do anything with it. You got fired. Definitely an L.
For
Definitely
sure.
an L.
Deserve it.
And that is the last one. So go ahead and give us your dubs and L's and your thoughts on our dubs and L's in the comment prompt below. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Come back next week for another dubs and L's segment. Hopefully on time this time.
Nah, we'll do it on Friday next week.
No, we will not. It is usually Wednesday, and from now on out, it will be on Wednesday.
It will be Sunday, 10 o'clock. Be here.
It will not be.
Make sure you check out our playlist full of W's and L's. Our W's and L's last week where we discussed Michelle Rodriguez taking a shot at Marvel.
Thanks.
So make sure you check out that. Check out the playlist. Make sure you check out previous W's and L's and see what we thought about some of the stories from previous weeks. And obviously, like you said, make sure you subscribe. We'll be doing this every Wednesday at 10 o'clock.